All right, this camera together. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Afia, and I am the founder, creator of the Black Homeschool Cooperative, Inc., DBA, the Black Homeschoolers Connection, based out of Georgia. And I just want to get on here to give you guys some information. So a lot of you know on my timeline that I've been homeschooling my children for the last 6 years and counting. And I love absolutely every bit of it. I love it because of the flexibility. It allows me to teach my children what I want them to know, in addition to the requirements here in Georgia. It really allows me to delve into our history, specifically Black history, and it just allows me to be more hands on them and to teach them according to their needs. But I wanted to get you on here and let you guys know I felt it for a while that I needed to get on here and do something, but it's just never been the right time. And I figured I better do it now before I head out of town in these next couple of weeks. So, guys, I've seen your posts, I've seen your frustrations with virtual learning. I've seen it. And I want you guys to know there is a better way. I promise you, there is a better way. There is a less stressful way. Um, our children were not supposed to be sitting in front of the computer for 6 and 7 hours a day. To me, that's just crazy ridiculous. It really is. They're not supposed to. My children are homeschooled, again, 6 years and counting, and there has not been a point in time where I've ever had them sitting in front of the computer for that amount of time. That is just beyond crazy to me, especially young children. Elementary age especially. They should be doing more so hands-on learning. They should be outside. They should be able to move around, not have to sit still in front of a computer, in front of a laptop, Chromebook, whatever it is that you want to say. They are not built to be sitting like that right now, and it's not normal. So again, you as a parent, you have choices, and you decide as the parents whether or not those choices are going to be permanent, temporary, until they can get back into the classroom, whatever the case may be. But I do want you to understand that you have choices, and it's up to you to decide whether or not you are going to utilize those choices or not. So let us start with choice number one. There are options called Georgia Cyber Academy, and this is for my parents in Georgia. If you are not in Georgia and you are in another state, then look up the academy that I'm referencing in your state to see if they do have it available. But for my parents in Georgia, you have Georgia Connections Academy, or you can look up Connections Academy in another state if you're in another state, or you can look up Georgia Cyber Academy, which is affiliated with K-12. And you can look up K-12 or whatever your state is, Missouri, Missouri Cyber Academy or South Carolina Cyber Academy. You can look that up as well. These are options number one. And what these are not considered homeschooling in the sense of the traditional homeschooling community. It does not require you to submit an intent to homeschool with your Department of Education in your state, and I'm going to touch on that in a few. But it's an extension of the public school system. It's considered charter school. And you would have to unenroll your child from school once you gotten approval. From my understanding, there is a wait list right now with these academies, but from what I also understand is they're approving children at a rapid rate, and I think they're also opening up more spaces to accommodate parents and children because of what is going on in our current climate right now. but they are an extension of the public school system in your state. You will be required to still do standardized testing. From what I understand in Georgia, the superintendent of education, Woods and Kemp, have submitted a waiver to waive standardized testing for next year. It has not been approved yet, but they have submitted it to the Department of Ed. If it has been approved, then you wouldn't have to worry about milestones next year, if it is approved. But if it's not approved, then yes, you are still required to take the mandatory standardized test. But the good thing is that Connections Academy and Georgia Cyber Academy will make arrangements for that and give you dates and times and such. But they are, for the most part, on alignment with the public school system. If anything, your kid may come back to school. If you decide to re-enroll them back into public school, they will come back probably knowing more and doing a whole lot better, because in Georgia Cyber Academy, Connections Academy, your children are getting more one-on-one attention. It is virtual. They will have to do some type of live lessons, but it's not live lessons for 6 hours a day. It's definitely less than that. But you have a teacher that you are able to reach out to. They'd have to be in those live lessons. I think those are ranging from like 30 to 45 minutes. Again, don't quote me on that. I definitely believe it depends on grade level, age, etc. But you do have to log attendance, but the good thing is that if you go out of town, if you go on vacation, they can do their work from wherever. You're not mandated just to stay at home. And it's more organized, because Georgia Cyber Academy and Connections Academy have been doing this for so long, for years. They're well versed in it. And you aren't going to have those issues that you're having now with virtual learning. You will know each day what your child is doing, and it's definitely more organized. They send you the textbooks. They send you the textbooks. They send you materials. If you need a computer, a laptop, or whatnot, they will send that to you as well. I highly suggest that you look into it, because I think it could be a good temporary solution for you if you plan on enrolling your child back into the public school system once children are able to go back, or once you feel that it's safe. But once you do decide to let them go back, if that's what you're choosing, it should be a seamless experience, just because you will have your grades and everything. You can give them back to the school, their coursework counts and stuff like that. They are accredited and all of that other good stuff. So I would highly suggest that you look it up. You would do your research. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. But it's something that I definitely suggest that you look into, because it's definitely a better experience than what you are experiencing now. I promise you. The other choice that you have is to traditionally homeschool your kids, and that is what I am doing. So what I have done is what my husband and I have done. We unenrolled our children. First of all, my daughter, she has never gone to public school, but my son did. So we unenrolled him from school. Each year we submit an intent to homeschool through the Georgia Department of Ed. It takes maybe 5 minutes. I align our school dates with the dates that our county have for their school dates to make it easier. But to be honest with you, I homeschool my children year round. So what I do with them is usually 6 to 8 weeks on and 1 week off. During the holidays, I give them a little bit more time off. But that is what we do, just because my son, he wants to finish school, he wants to finish high school earlier. So, and then my daughter, it just works best for her. It works best for both of them, actually, to be on a consistent schedule and not learn during the school year and then have 3 months off. That just doesn't work for us, and then have to spend a month reviewing stuff. So we just do year round, and it works. And the good thing is that we are able to travel, and Georgia is probably one of the most lenient states that you can homeschool in. Georgia, Texas, there's probably a couple of others, but those are the two main ones that I really keep up with. But Georgia, all you have to do is submit your intent to homeschool no later than September 30th, or no more than 30 days after you establish a homeschool program during the school year. You do not have to report attendance or submit attendance anymore. They stopped that about 5 years ago. You do not have to submit attendance to them anymore. And they require that you do standardized testing every 3 years, but it's not like in a formal sense. So you can pick a test and test them and just put it in your files. And that's it. And it's more for your reference to see how well they are doing, how they are progressing. Are there any gaps that you need to work on? And so it works really well. Georgia is really hands off when it comes to that. The program I'm using with my children are Acellus Academy and Power Homeschool. I love them. They are so flexible. And you can use any program though. I also supplement with Khan Academy, and not so much supplement, but like if there's something that not my husband, goodness gracious, if there's something that my son is having trouble grasping or having trouble grasping a concept, and if Acellus isn't providing enough videos or anything for him to grasp that concept, then I go to Khan Academy. It is free. It is amazing. KHAN academy.org. And it's amazing, and it walks them through step by step. There are a couple of apps that you can use as well. As far as for younger children, a good curriculum is Time for Learning. It may not be a full curriculum. You will have to supplement with your own history. Most curriculums you're going to have to supplement in some kind of way. But Time for Learning is a good one. You have ABC Mouse, you have Starfall. Starfall has a free option, at least it used to when my daughter was younger, but I'm not sure anymore. I would look into that. They did have a free option, and then if you wanted more features, then you would have to pay for it, but it wasn't an obscene amount that you had to pay. By the way, if you're wondering how much I pay for Acellus Academy and Power Homeschool, for Acellus Academy, the difference between Acellus Academy and Power Homeschool, because they are both on the same platform, the difference is Acellus Academy is accredited, Power Homeschool is not accredited. Power Homeschool is $25 a month per child. Acellus Academy is $80 a month per child. That's as long as you're doing the class for the scholarship that the founder offers. Outside of that, it is a little bit more, but the good thing is you are able to it's one video that your child has to watch a week. I believe it's every Wednesday or every Thursday, and you can watch the recorded version, and that is it. Easy Peasy is a free curriculum. I believe Discovery K-12 is a free curriculum. You can grab worksheets off of education.com. You can pull different ideas off of Pinterest. It's so much stuff out there that I don't know all of it. I don't remember all of it, but I will say that I would definitely look into it if you feel that you need another way. Homeschoolers get into college. As a matter of fact, a lot of colleges now are starting to look at more homeschoolers just because they're finding that homeschoolers are more well-rounded, because they've been exposed to so many more things than public school children have. And it's just, honestly, it's time to get out of that box of public school as your only option of education and start looking outside of the box. It used to be when I was younger, homeschoolers children were only homeschooled for religious reasons. That's no longer the case anymore. People are wanting to take control of their children's educations. People are wanting to travel and be able to world school or homeschool all over the place. Um, People are tired of the public school system. And specifically, I know I did not want my children in a system that was not built for them. Children are not built to sit still. They learn how to sit still as they get older, and that's what they are taught. But a 5, 6-year-old has no business on the computer 5 or 6 hours a day, consistently sitting still in front of a screen looking at their teacher. And to be honest with you, you should not have to pop your child to get them to sit still when honestly, that's not what they should be doing in the first place. And I'm not trying to tell you how you discipline your child, but a child should not have to sit still in front of a computer to learn, especially at 5, 6, 7-year-old age. They should be able to do more hands-on learning. When my children were that age, we did hands-on learning. I did a lot of outside, especially when they started getting wiggly and they just weren't focused, they weren't paying attention. It was nice to have the flexibility to say, hey, you know what, let's take a 15, 20-minute break. We had so many breaks built in to our schedule because that's what worked for them. Hey, you know what, let's go outside. It's nice outside. Let's go outside. Let's go run around. Let's go ride your bike. Get on your scooter. Let's go run around. Let's do something. Let's jump up and down. Let's do something to help you get those little wigglies and jigglies out of your body so that you are better able to focus. And when you're able to do stuff like that, it makes for a happier household and it takes a lot of the frustration out because again, 5, 6, 7-year-olds, shoot, even 8-year-olds are not built to sit still for hours at a time or even an hour at a time. I think it's ridiculous. And again, it could be a temporary solution or it could be a permanent solution. Also, a lot of children learn better in a one-on-one atmosphere instead of being in a classroom with 15 or 20, 25, 30 other children. They learn better being able to have that one-on-one um, attention and have someone focused on them. It helps them grasp concepts easily or more. It allows them to be more focused and they don't feel like they are just another number in a classroom. And again, this could be a temporary solution or it could be a more permanent solution or it could be something that works more for you as a parent right now until these schools figure it out because they've had all summer to figure this out and they didn't figure it out. They didn't figure it out until the last minute. But they've had all summer to decide and figure this out, and they haven't. And I understand that everyone's doing the best that they can with the time that they are given, but they've had 3 months to figure this out, and they are still trying to figure it out. Um, what else was I going to say? Um, if you're looking more so at the more traditional homeschool way, you don't have to homeschool during normal school hours if it doesn't work for you. You can homeschool on your schedule because that's the beauty of homeschooling. It's built into your family, into your schedule. So I know parents that homeschool on the weekends because that works for them and their children are thriving. I know parents that are homeschooling in the evening because they're able to focus more because they work more during the day. That's what works for them. Their children are thriving. I know people like myself that are homeschooling during the day because that's what works. Also, the good thing about traditional homeschooling is that you are learning, that the children are learning on their own natural pattern or their natural schedule. So for instance, what our schedule looks like is it takes my children maybe about 3 hours, if that, to get their work done. They don't have homework, but it takes them about 3 hours to get their work done. My daughter Ever since we came back from vacation, she has been on a whole nother schedule. She used to be on this crazy schedule that drove me up the freaking wall, but it is what it is. Um, she used to be on the schedule where she would not get up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, little girl, what are you doing? But she would stay up until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, goodness gracious. But hey, she got her work done. I didn't have to bug her to get her work done. She got her work done. She got her chores done. And then she was able to do what it was that she wanted to do. I was okay with that. My son, he would probably be up about 10:30, 11 o'clock. He would get his work done after he took care of his chores and everything. And he has practice. He has taekwondo practice. So he knew what he had to do. He would get his work done, get his chores done, you know, get everything ready so that he could go to practice and stuff. This is what my rule is in my house because I have older learners. My son's 14 going on 15. My daughter just turned 11. So this is a rule in my house. I don't care when you get it done, just get it done. I shouldn't have to remind you to get your work done. I'm available where if you need help. You know how to log in to your system. I gave them their passwords, their usernames, and passwords. I have a teacher login where I'm able to see every single thing that they're doing. And my rule is you do what you're supposed to do. You know what you're supposed to do. And if you don't do it, there are consequences. I will snatch away computer access. I will snatch away TV. I will snatch away phones. I have no problems taking away stuff because you know what it is that you're supposed to do. And guess what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to continuously remind you every single day, every single hour, this is what you need to do. You know how many lessons that you have to get done each day. You know what you have to do. So let's just do it without any hassle, stress, worry, anything like that. That's the role that I took on with my children. And it took a while for us to get there, though. It didn't start off like that. But now that they're middle school and high school level, they're at that point where they are independent learners. If they need my help, I am absolutely here, hands-on to help them. But they know to utilize their resources first before they call me in the room, because the first thing I'm going to ask them is, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you go back and look at the help video? Did you go back and look at the special lessons video? Did you do that? What resources did you utilize before you called me in here to help you? 9 times out of 10, they didn't utilize those resources. So they will go back and utilize those resources, and then they don't need my help anymore. But I'm available for them, I am available to them if they need my help. But rule is in the house, you get your work done. I'm not going to bug you about it. But if by the end of the day, by 7, 8 p.m., you have not done what you're supposed to do, meaning you have not done schoolwork, you have not done the amount of lessons that you know you're supposed to do every single day, and if you have not done your chores, meaning if you didn't take care of the dog during the day, if you did not take out the trash, if you didn't unload the dishwasher, if you didn't pick up in your room, if you haven't made up your bed, um, if you haven't done those types of things, then consequences are going to happen. And you don't get those privileges back until I can see that you know what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Because 9 times out of 10, what has usually happened if someone doesn't get something done, and it's more my daughter than my son, is 9 times out of 10, she's on a dang on computer playing Roblox. She's on her phone looking at YouTube. And it's just a matter of adjusting. Oh, okay, let me take this for a day or so. Oh, let me change the login information for a day or so on YouTube access. Let me block it. Let me do something to help you get better focus. And that's what usually works. Um, but it's definitely been a game changer for us, for sure. So again, my suggestion would be to at least think about these options. Now, if you're dead set about sending your child back to school when they allow you to go back to school, okay, that's completely fine. Again, you're the parent, that's your choice. I'm just letting you know, for those that don't know that you have options, you do have options. You have plenty of options. And I would utilize them. I know some parents that have unenrolled their children from the public school system and either enrolled them in Cyber Academy, Connections Academy, or they've decided to traditionally homeschool them. And I understand that all parents aren't able to work from home like we are. We're blessed. My husband, he's been working from home since the end of March, but even when he did work outside before they brought him home, I worked from home. I still work from home. So my children have always had one parent at home with them to make sure that everything was taken care of. And I understand that there are households out there that don't have that privilege, that may be single parent households. I definitely understand that. And before I got married, I was doing this as a single parent, but I also did utilize my village very heavily. And I was, again, also working from home at that time. So I made homeschooling work around my schedule so that I could still have my children at home and teach them at home, because that is what I desired. So I would say that try to make it work for you if you do have that option. If your children are older, task them with the responsibility of their learning. I'm sure they would love more of the flexibility. I'm sure they would love to be able to be in control of their own time, where, hey, if I get this done within a certain amount of hours, then outside of my chores and whatever else I have to do at home, I pretty much can do what I want within reason. It's time to get out of this mindset that learning only happens in a classroom, in a public or private setting, because it doesn't. Your children can learn at home. Your children can learn in the car. Your children can learn while you're traveling. Children grasp stuff so much at a rapid rate, and they usually grasp it more in a one-on-one setting. It is okay to go outside of the box to teach your children. It really is. And I think now is the perfect time for parents to start exploring those options and exploring their choices. I really think that it is. And if you need help, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at all. I love helping parents. And no, I don't charge anything. I do this stuff for free. I run a homeschool group called the Black Homeschoolers Connection. I have almost 6,000 members. I started this group 4 years ago with maybe 50 members, if that, and it has grown so much, especially during um, the current climate, the pandemic that is going on. But it's grown so much, and the people in the group, the community is amazing. But we also understand that it is, um, especially for African Americans, Black people, whatever it is that you identify as, it's bigger for us because we understand that the system wasn't built for us. So we've decided to take a more hands-on approach with our children, and I absolutely love it. Um, if you're not Black African American, there are other homeschool groups out there that are available for you to join that will give you information on homeschooling or everything that I've just stated. But I just wanted to do this video because I felt led to. I feel like parents need to know there's another way. There is no reason why you should be frustrated with everything that's going on. I get that it's a learning curve and everything like that, but I also want you to understand that there is a better way. It's a better way. It's a less frustrating way. And most importantly, your children aren't going to be sitting in front of a computer for 6, 7 hours a day either, having to have a camera on them in your household that is required. They're not, it's it's just another way. That's all I have to say. And it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to utilize it or not. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to me, but I just want to give you a better way. Um, you guys take care. Hope that all is going well with you. But again, please do some research. Um, oh, one other thing I want to touch on. I know the main thing that someone is going to bring up or mention and is socialization. Your children are not animals. They do not need to be socialized. And this socialization argument, it's it's time that it has stopped. Your children are not animals. They don't need to be herded together to make friends or anything like that. How did my children socialize or be around other children? We were members of co-ops. They did extracurricular activities. Like I said, my son, he is a third-degree brown belt in Taekwondo assistant instructor, and my daughter is a former gymnast. She still has friends from her gymnastics days that she talks to, that she sees. Also, neighborhood children be outside there, they go outside constantly. And you have family, you have friends, and they talk to us. They also have each other. They are not isolated, nor have they never been isolated from the general public, or they've never been isolated or anything. So that is a big time argument that I always get. Well, my children need to be socialized, or how can you homeschool, and your kids socialize. Again, they are not animals. Socialization means that you purposely herd your children together to talk or whatever the case may be. Children need to learn how to interact with people of all ages, and they definitely do so. And there are things that you can do out there to make sure that they have access to other children, if that is what you want. Um, what else was I going to say? If you feel like it's not safe to do a co-op or anything like that, because honestly, I've cut our co-op out for this year. I told the kids we would see what it would be for January, but I have cut it out. Um, because think about it this way. Your children are in school. People use this, your children need to be socialized. That's why they shouldn't be homeschooled. They use that argument for not wanting to homeschool their children, or for you homeschooling your own children because they want to have a say so in what you do with your children, right? Or family. Oh my gosh, I had to learn how to tune out the noise. My mother was one of my biggest critics when I first started 6 years ago. Now she's one of my biggest supporters because she sees the benefits of it, and she sees how the children have benefited from it and how they've thrived and everything. But think about it this way. Your children are in school for 6, 7 hours a day. Half of the time, they don't see those children unless they live in the same subdivision or complex neighborhood that they live in, right? Half the time, they don't see those children. They may not even see them over the summer, again, unless they live within the same vicinity of your child. And then they're socializing what? In between classes? But teachers, they're what? Encouraging what? Group work, right? But outside of that, children can't really talk to each other. They're taking away recess or limiting how much recess there is And one of my biggest thing is that I know when Vincent was in school, what drove me nuts was that they would punish the whole class for something that one child did. So one child would be acting up, and the teacher would make them stand outside and either take away their whole recess or take away 10 minutes of their recess when they only get 30 minutes of recess. They're starting to take away these creative outlets, art, and all of that stuff. They've taken away what theater, plays, and all the other kind of stuff, all the stuff that we did when I was younger in elementary school that taught me a lot of things. It taught me about doing school plays, taught me how to memorize. It taught me public speaking. Um, our teachers encouraged recess. I remember being in recess for almost an hour outside, and then the teacher told us if we finished up our work early, she let us go back outside, or if it rained outside, we'd go in the gym and we play dodgeball or whatever game. They encouraged us to be active and stuff. Now, a lot of these teachers don't want to encourage, and I say a lot of these teachers, not all teachers. So don't try to twist my words up and say that I'm saying all teachers. No, a lot of teachers or a lot of teachers' hands are tied where they have to take away something. And usually recess and the extracurriculars or creative outlets for these children, they're usually the first to go before academic class. And I don't think that's right. And I don't like that. And I don't like that our children are being diagnosed. And this is for Black boys, Black children. And I can speak on this specifically because this is what they tried to do to my son, which is one of the main reasons why I took him out. They want to test your child. They want to try to say that your child has ADHD. They want to sit up there and the white child can do the same thing that your Black child is doing, and the teacher thinks it's cute, or they're more lenient in their punishment. But the Black child gets punished, or they try to say, oh, let's test him because we think he may have ADHD. Did you test the little white child over there? And well, no, you test him and then you come back and you have a conversation with me because I already see where this is going. I'm not even going to get into the school to prison pipeline for Black children. I'm not going to do it, but that's a big thing as well. And so I felt like I had to take it into my hands and teach my son, because how are you going to try to say a child has ADHD, and you're forcing him to sit there for hours at a time in elementary school in first, second grade, and you're not letting them get up to have a break when you know that that's not natural. And so again, this video is not about, oh, I went there, but I get into a lot of this stuff in my group as well. And I've had a lot of parents that have had the same experience, which is why they have pulled their children out. Now, if a child needs discipline, I'm all for discipline, but I'm not for you treating my child differently than you done treated the little white child over there. I'm just not for it. So, um, again, you have options. You have a lot of options. If you have questions or concerns, again, reach out to me, but you do have options. And I would suggest that you utilize those options, because honestly, those options are a whole lot better than what they are giving you. And I'm going to tell you, they're not going to give you your options about homeschooling, because when you homeschool, they start losing money, especially if your child is receiving special services. So again, that was the one thing I wanted to get into. The last thing, though, about socialization. You can homeschool your child. Your child will still be up to date on their social skills. Um, they will be fine. They won't suffer if that is a concern, to you. And I understand that it may be a concern, especially now during the pandemic, and you don't want them being around a whole bunch of kids and stuff. I definitely understand that. We have they have the Zoom calling, doing Zoom chats and all that other kind of stuff. Or people that you do feel comfortable around that have children that your children have grown up at, you could do stuff like that to fill in the gaps. But again, it's very doable. So again, look into your options. Please, please, please look into your options and try not to get It's easier said than done for me to say, try not to get frustrated. But I see your frustration. There's a better way. And again, if this situation is working for you and school is working for you, hey, continue on with it. But at least research your options. All right, that's it. This went longer than what I thought it was going to go. So I am going to say goodbye. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend and take care. Bye bye.